Just got back from the local pet shop. I had the shop owner finally sex the rest of the clutches I had, and guess what? Girls, girls, girls. Uh, The last two clutches I had were majority girls, all of them, with maybe two or three male, two or three males tops. Uh, Actually, at most three males tops, but everybody else is girls. Uh, Needless to say, this kind of I have this little personal theory that seems to be proving itself out with me in my little mom and pop operation that the higher temperatures, like above 89 degrees, incubation temps with 100% humidity, has been giving me more and more females as opposed to males. Now, for a larger scale operation, this is exactly kind of the thing that we want because females, by and large, with snakes, uh, they do catch more money than, say, the males, because the males pretty much only have to do one thing: eat and then breed, and then that's it. The females have to do the real work of fertilizing the eggs, then growing them, then laying them, and then the rest of it comes down to us putting them into an incubator for the 60 days at whatever temp at 100% humidity until they start pipping out on their own. But yeah, we definitely lucked out on this one. The banana and Enchi that we had from the banana, Enchi, and albino clutch, those two survivors are all female. And the pastel OD and Mojave chocolate orange ghost clutch, uh, yeah, got lot of them right now that are female. Definitely didn't, so kind of lucked out here. Uh, right now, I gotta get my stickers out. That way, I can gender identify all the snakes in the tubs. And then I'm gonna start posting them onto my Facebook page for Meis Morphs, and then I'm gonna start putting out feelers for them to being picked up or sold to other breeders or keepers. If not, I'm just going to go down to the next local pet store that will do a retail buy of the collection, and it'll allow me to keep some of the hotter snakes, as far as like the ones that I've created that are more than one genetic combination. Because I still got the spider clutch that is got two pastel spider ODs, and those are females, and then we got an OD spider, and then a regular OD, and then a really dark OD, almost looking like normal. But other than that, hopefully I can get these guys moved around because as much as I would like to hold on to most of them, I really don't have a lot of room, even though I have improved on the equipment that I've got, like the ARS racks. But those ARS racks, the 7010s, those are for adults. I still using the Vivarium Electronics VE6s for like the baby snakes and the yearlings and all that stuff like that, the ones I still have. So at this point, I just want to be able to make sure I get most of them moved up because right now I'm still on a breeding hiatus. Uh, until I get most of them moved up and out and sold. Uh, I don't want to overcrowd my racks with a bunch of babies and everything that are not moving. The only things that have seemed to move so far is like the boas. I only got three of those left from the first clutch I did. Oh, hello. Sorry, unfortunately I can't understand what language you're speaking in, so can't honestly respond back to you. But Yeah, I gotta get out my stickers from my to allow me to start marking these tubs here real quick. And for edification, I use blue to mark boys and red to mark females. Pretty simple. I just use simple little stickers like this. Okay. But seeing as how I already know the genders of the ones I've already identified, I'll just put the corresponding sticker on there for them. I'll tell you something funny happened while I was there. All of them, while they were trying to express their whether they had peens or no peens at all, basically boys and girls, sex organs, uh, because it's been a week since I fed them last, they all kind of started peeing on the guy that was trying to sex them and everything. And some of it was coming out like regular urates, and then other times it was coming out like little streams of urine. It's like, ugh. Yeah. Here's one of the girls from the albino and banana enchi clutch. This is just the simple enchi. Happy little girl. Okay, in you go. Okay. And here's the banana girl. Yeah. That's one other thing about having bananas. The banana morph is a sex-linked morphology. So if you got a female snake, they're going to more than likely make males. And if you get a male banana, they're more than likely going to make females. So there's that. And for as small as she is already had a couple decent sheds, and she's already getting that nice classic freckling pattern all over the place. I'm wondering how many freckles she's going to have until I can start playing connect the dots. All right, hold on. Get you in your thing. No. Get back in there. All right. Like I said, my plans are basically to get most of these girls and guys sold off. I am thinking about keeping at least one female from each clutch based on how well they're performing as eaters. So for just to have the genetics long, I mean, every snake keeper breeder likes to have at least a few holdbacks to basically show them basically evidence and kind of like a little bit of like grandstanding saying, hey, yeah, I made these, all that other stuff. But it's kind of like a good thing to have because if the way the market is right now, a lot of people are selling their snakes to get out, or they're really just trying to get downsize and just get rid of what they have because they can't afford the additional costs of more little mouths to feed and all that stuff, which is kind of always the case in everything. But the ones where I have a bunch of repeat genetics showing up, Those are the ones I'm going to try to push out towards retail sales for some of the pet shops here that are dealing with reptiles right now. And that's pretty much how I'm going to go from there. Uh, Other than that, I still have one rack in the AR 7010s that is mostly empty. I got the 3 boas in there right now that are left over from that one litter, basically because they're getting too big for the VE6 largest tub. So they're going to need a little bit more space to crawl around in, and they're doing actually pretty well. Hello. Hi to all those who are actually. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. The home's nice. It's modest. It's a 1950s home. Okay. Okay. Hello, little chocolate girl. Come on. Come on. It's okay. Don't worry. Yeah. The reason you can tell it's a chocolate is because it doesn't have the very high yellow blushing on its alien heads and keyholes. There's it's a little bit more brown. Uh, right now, I tried not to name the baby snakes or anything because the moment you start naming them, you kind of get attached to them, and then you don't want to let them go. But yeah. Okay, in you go. Just don't pee on me like you did that poor dude over there at the pet shop. That was a ball python. Mm-hmm. Yep. Simple little baby ball python. Yep. Very cool. Okay. Yep. Very distinct for their head shape. Okay. This is one of the double combos that we ended up getting with this one. Uh, this one is a male Mojave chocolate. This one's kind of like. Yeah. If you see this one here, it's got a very. Yeah, I've only been bitten maybe 2 or 3 times, but they were very light strikes. Uh, 2 of them were by babies. One of them was actually one of my boas. Uh, First boa to nip me, if I can, nailed me right here on my, oh, what was it? Outside of my index finger right here. Just basically got like 2 fang puncture marks on there from her teeth. That was fun. But nowhere near as fun as the weak freaking sound I make whenever I get accidentally tagged. It's like, ow! Sounds like a cat going off. But what I like about this one, with this boy here, is he's got a very unique hook on his dorsal, and it just keeps going all the way down to its tail. That's one of the key signs of the chocolate blending in with long tail markers. Okay, here you go. That's blue sticker for him, blue for boy. Ooh. Yeah. I'm not big into freaking venomous snakes, not much at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, I grew up in the South, North Carolina, so definitely had our fair share of co- cottonheads and copperheads and all that other stuff. Freaking not fun dealing with those little leaf hoppers at all. Okay. This is another chocolate, but this one's a boy. There you go, boy. Good boy. Sorry for disturbing y'all. Yeah, the pastel OD and the Mojave chocolate hat orange ghost has definitely got me. Oh, okay. What's my proudest moment? I'd say my proudest moment would be my first attempt at breeding boas. I know from having done my research that it can be a little bit problematic and a little bit more hectic because you are dealing with a snake species that gives live birth. And needless to say, my first litter was a small success. It was a virgin snake, first time proving her out. We ended up getting a litter of 11. We had a fair amount of like slugs, like ovum that never became anything else, little yolks. And we ended up having like 3 stillborns. But other than that, out of that entire litter of baby boas, we only had one female that was the all gene snake. Everybody else was a mix of jungles or Key West or ladder tails and stuff like that, which was pretty damn awesome. But just to get that one girl out of that entire litter that was more unique than all of them, she's the one thing I want to hold back for a while until somebody actually wants her for the price that I know she's worth. Jordan Griffin, I'm not fucking 50. And I may be bald, but at least I still got hair up here. Unlike whatever the fuck you're doing. So if you're just gonna come up onto my page and just be an ass, then bye. You don't have to comment. Just leave. Oh, thank you. Hmm. Didn't know I had a moderator. Well, that's good. Whoever was moderating to handle that one, thank you. I appreciate that. Dude, shut the fuck up. Seriously. Go spread your hate elsewhere. Five things I'm grateful in life. Well, that's pretty easy. I've got my health. I've got my wife and my kid. I'm trying to be, as far as like right now, being the best at being successful at something. I mean, I've been successful in a lot of things in my life, but I like to be more successful in things that I have never tried or gotten to do yet. Because, let's put it this way, I don't like getting comfortable just doing some things repetitively because I don't want to be stagnant. So I like to figure out more things in my life and just go with the flow. If I kept doing the same thing over and over and over, I'd get bored real easy. And if I kept doing the same thing with more and more success over and over, I feel like I wouldn't be learning anything. That's another thing I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for failures because if I didn't have any failures to look back on, I wouldn't know where to improve. Whoever's moderating, somebody kick this Jordan Griffin off. Because if he's going to mention anything about my wife, then go. That. Yeah, I'm just going to hide them. Yeah, that way that guy can't comment no more. I'm sorry, but freaking, I know most people have social media presence. Maybe sometimes not big and anything, but I do not like people that come out to troll and just say heinous things, whether it's degrading me. I can handle comments against me, but don't bring up my wife or anything, or even my kid. If you do that, not only are you going to get kicked off of this live stream or anything else, that guy is basically going to get reported. You know, this is the one pastave that I produced. That's Mojave and pastel coming through. Uh, the other ones, the Mojave chocolates, those were both male. And yeah, I think I might keep this one because it's pastave. I've had chances to get a pastave before, but it's just kind of one of those things where you see something that you like and you want to get it, but you can't just get it just yet. And then the moment you come back looking for it, you find somebody's already scooped it up. So, uh, baby venomous snakes don't have the experience or the control to regulate their venom glands when they bite. They will just envenomate and then they will just keep pumping venom for their fangs. Uh, that's why they're so dangerous to get bitten by, especially if it's like a copperhead, cottonmouth, or even a baby rattlesnake. Uh, Adult venomous snakes, they can control their bite reflex to envenomate. That's why they get. That's why there's this term called a dry bite. Basically, you get bitten by a venomous snake, but they don't actuate their venom glands to start pumping venom. But still, it's always a key rule to if you know got bit by a snake, especially a venomous one that you can identify readily, that when you go to the hospital or if you have somebody like wildlife control, wildlife officer, something like that, picks you up and they take you to the hospital to at least check on you, the bite area, check for swelling or necrosis and stuff like that. And maybe just give you like one ampule of like the anti-venom based on what snake that bit you, and then see how things go. Mind you, pray to God you have the insurance that covers snake bite envenomation, uh, because those things can be pretty expensive, and sometimes not every hospital has a ready amount of uh, snake anti venom on hand, so it's a little bit more expensive, especially if they have to order it from another hospital that might have it. Okay. Put the little red sticker on there for that. fact, I need to put a couple of red stickers. Gotta put some stickers on some of the other ones too, because even though I know which ones are which, it always helps to have everything identified. Okay, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you? I'd say the craziest thing that's ever happened to me is having been in an accident where I was driving a Ford F-150 Heritage, and I ended up getting hit by this girl, this blonde with a history of speeding on her record, and she was driving a 2015 VW Beetle, and she ends up hitting me and screws up my freaking truck in the process. Mind you, a VW Beetle is a little bit smaller than a F-150 Heritage, but she hit me hard enough to totally fuck up my front end, and yeah, I mean, other than combat, I've been to war before, but that was like 20 odd years ago. I mean, I know I've seen some things in war that freaking definitely give reason to people to take pause in their life, but one, two, three, four, five. Okay, everybody's properly labeled and identified. Chinese cobra. Never heard of a Chinese cobra before. I've heard of the king cobra and the monocled cobra and the spitting cobra, but I've never heard of a Chinese cobra. So you got me at a loss there. Ah, man. You know, I do know this. If I sell these guys as retail, like bulk, I'm not going to get a lot of money from them. But then again, this is not a business venture where I'm trying to make shit tons of money, because the way things are right now with the economy, a lot of us smaller breeders are feeling the hit as far as like trying to get our stuff out there. So it kind of hurts trying to get them out there and everything. It's just can't hold on to them forever. And if I don't got the room for them, I basically have to sell them at cost. I mean, all the other breeders out there that have the facilities out there, like massive amount of racks, massive incubator rooms and stuff like that, and they've got the means and the social media presence to be out there. Yeah, they definitely make the bank on that stuff. But right now they're starting to feel it to the point where they're only making trades and deals amongst themselves. And they're still trying to figure out whether who's going to end up making the next best thing, because whoever makes the next best thing has the uh, monopoly on that particular morphology of snake that comes out that's next. That's another one of those things I don't like about the industry, the hobby so far. It's when somebody comes out with something new, they basically control the price and the interest of said snakes, morphology, and all that stuff. So they kind of own it, and then they try to hold on to it as long as possible until somebody either buys their snake or several of them, and then figures it out on their own. That's kind of how the way things are in the snake industry. Somebody creates something, then everybody else jumps on it, and then becomes this big thing until the next big thing comes around, and then the prices eventually drop. And that's another thing. Every new snake morphology that comes out generates a lot of interest and generates a lot of prices, especially high prices. But the moment more people figure it out and they start making their own, the prices start depreciating. Uh, what's my aim or dream? I'd like to come up with maybe my own combination, but like my own morphology. Some people have managed to do that, but with what I have, all, but with what I have is mostly like base genetics and stuff like that. Uh, I'd probably have a long way before I end up doing that, and that might take several generations worth of breeding to do. And even then, with meticulous breeding records that I am keeping and everything, as far as like who I've paired in the past, what the results were, and all that stuff, it would take me a long time for me to figure out to make a snake that's got maybe more than five morphologies, or maybe even two or three recessives in its genetic line to go with. And like I said, that would take an exceptionally long time. That would take at least 10 years worth of breeding, and you'd need multiple snakes back to back. And then you'd have to take into time to growing those snakes up and then breeding those ones in order to see if you get the results. But yeah, hopefully, if I'm still around doing this stuff, maybe creating my own snake morphology would be kind of cool. But out of this entire rack here, man. Whew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 females from three clutches, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 males out of all that. So basically, it's like two-thirds of out of the entire 3 clutches I made last year are female, and then the other third is male. Uh, I feel like I am proving my little theory about having higher temperatures for incubation, creating more females. Because it's not snakes, if this is true, then the theory about breeding egg laying snakes in incubators is not all that different than the how crocodiles and alligators who bury and incubate their eggs for their babies in like these heaping tall mounds of like substrate and brush and all that stuff. And you got different levels of temperatures based on where the eggs are at. And if you got low temperatures, you're going to get males, but if you get higher temperatures, you get females. But it's all depending on where the eggs stack up in the mounds. So even with an incubator like such, you gotta figure it's like if I were to have this entire incubator filled up with boxes full of eggs and everything, and the heat and the air is running, probably the first couple X right here, I'd probably end up getting females, while the ones down here would probably be 50% males, 50% females, and maybe down the bottom, probably just be a whole bunch of males, maybe a little bit of females. But that's my theory. And so far, just for me, I'm not speaking for anybody else on this one. That's how things have been working with me so far. And I've only been breeding for maybe 3 years now. And this right now is like the first year where we took a break from breeding because of just literally running out of space, running out of rack room and stuff like that. So, and also I want my female snakes to recover a little bit more, put on a little bit more weight, and same thing for the males. But I want the females to plus up in weight because for me, a healthy female snake would be at least, uh, especially after breeding and then after they lay the clutch, I like them to be in a healthy size of anywhere between 2,600 grams to a little bit over 3,000 grams. They got a little bit of chunk, a little bit more weight to them. But the males and all that stuff, I like them to be anywhere between 19 to maybe low 2,000 grams, something like that. They're still big and healthy, but the amount of all the energy and nutrients lost by the females from building the eggs and all that stuff and having them fertilized and all that stuff takes a lot more out of them. Because you've probably seen images of snakes that have laid their eggs and they look all hollowed out and gaunt, their stomachs caving in. Yeah, they do endure a lot just to build up those eggs and then lay them. So my policy is that for every snake that ends up laying a clutch, I give them a year off. But right now, with the way things are, I'm going to give them 2 years off, then get all these, and in that time, get these babies moved out to other owners or other people that want to be interested in snakes. But like I said, it's a tough process. You got to deal with not being able to get the prices you want, and then sometimes you got to sell them off in retail wholesale. And hopefully that whoever takes responsibility from them until they sell them uh, takes care of them. Because uh, I live in Hampton Roads around in here in Virginia. We do have a lot of pet stores here that deal with reptiles, snakes most specifically. Most of them are my mom and pop shops that have been here for a while. And then there are the there's the big business box stores like PetSmart or Petco and stuff like that. Those are not places where I'd go to sell my snakes off at wholesale or retail prices simply because I've seen how they keep their snakes there. So I'm not going to allow anything that I produce to go to places like that because they do the bare minimum. And also, they kind of price gouge on stuff because I've seen them sell snakes of multiple morphologies and they base it on this weird scale. Single gene or normal ball pythons being sold at Petco or PetSmart are right there like at $100. But anything else with multiple morphologies and stuff like that, they start going up by another 100 to almost like what was the last time I saw it? $300 something for real high quality snakes. But they don't go into specifics as far as like letting you know what morphologies are, and they don't let you know about their heads. And also, I do not like how they cohabitate their ball pythons because, yeah, they've got shelving space out there on the sales forum, but they tend to cohab snakes together that you shouldn't be cohabbing even as small snakes. And that's one thing I kind of gripe on them about, and I don't like that practice. The only time a snake needs to cohab is when you're breeding them. That's when you're just basically putting a male and female in there and seeing what happens. But hopefully I'll get these kids here all sorted out and end up getting them homes because right now need to make a little bit of return, and right now they're all on rats. They're all good feeders, and none of them have any issues, which is a good thing. I rather not I'd rather not have animals with issues because I don't want to be spreading that out, especially if it's anything that has to do with neurological issues or pickiness or even from not handling them often. I want them to be very well socialized. And I do tend to socialize these guys with my wife, my kid. They're very used to being held, and sometimes, and they're even allowed to be like petted on their heads. Yeah. Even some of my boas allow me to pet them on their heads, and my biggest boa, her head's about almost the size of my fist, closed up like this. She a big girl, but the fact that she even lets me pet on the top of her head or underneath her chin and everything, and I don't have to worry about getting bit is great. That's proof that these animals can respond to certain stimuli without totally freaking out. But all right. Well, I'm probably making the rats upset by talking too much because the babies in there are all screaming at their moms. But all right. Well, thanks for sticking around and commenting, asking questions, stuff like that. Y'all have a good day.